Hi Claudia, my name is Gwendolyn. I'm going to be looking at your essay today. First of all, thank you so much for getting the single essay check. Really great to see that you want to improve your English writing and you're open to getting some feedback on the areas that you need to focus on in order to get that 7.0 on the IELTS exam. I see that your next exam, you said next Saturday. I don't know if that means coming up on the 16th of April or if you mean the following week. Be good to know. If it's the following week, I think we've got some time to help you. If it's this week, it's a little bit short notice, but I will try to give you some areas where I think you could focus on before your test. So having read through this, Claudia, I thought you did a really good job. You definitely understand what international marketing is, which is good. People often get that wrong and talk about international trade instead. Um, you write really well. You've got a good range of vocabulary. You use some complex sentence structures. Your coherence and cohesion is really good. So those are all, when part of the marking criteria, all very good. I think the where you might have, had this been an examination where you might have probably had some points deducted and maybe not have hit that 7.0 that you wanted, was that your ideas and your examples were not entirely related to the task response. So here in this particular essay, we've got, there's two things we need to look at. So the first P1 paragraph, this one here, should have been answering the question, international marketing is sometimes seen as invasive and intrusion into the country in question. So the P1 should be answering that. Do you believe that? And if so, to what extent? And give an example to that. You could say, international marketing is definitely invasive, to a country because, one idea might be, take for example, McDonald's advertising their hamburgers. I don't think they do actually, but advertising their well, I think they do vegan burgers in India. So advertising their vegan hamburgers in India, along with their French fries and vanilla shakes, and the youth of India have found that that was something they're enticed to try because of the exciting commercials they've seen on that, and because of that they're now eating more and more Western food and avoiding their traditional cultural food, which many of the elders seem as this sort of marketing invading their country and reducing their cultural norms. And that's something more relevant, I think, there to the task response. And then on the second one, we've got others argue that it is a necessary and economical form of education in addition to spreading ideas, language, and culture. So the P2, the second paragraph, should have been looking at that side of the issue. Does advertisements and commercials help spread ideas, language, and culture? And you'd have to take a point of view on that, and you could say that yes, maybe it does. Audi, who ran an advertisement in the Middle East with a woman driving the car. A little bit controversial because given the Muslim culture, women generally aren't supposed to drive cars, but it did sort of waken the idea amongst that culture about what women in other Western worlds can do. So it's one way of spreading values through different countries. So that's more what I would like to have seen in the task response. I think you would have lost some points there not being that specific to answering those two parts of the question as opposed to what you've written. That said, the writing that you wrote was really good. So let's go ahead and read through it. I don't think I have that many comments on the grammar, sentence structure, and the vocabulary, but I'll see if I pick up on any. Nowadays, it is impossible to ignore that international marketing is all around. By simply, move that down, by simply, change your word form there, by simply, ly, by simply turning the television on, or as a result of an internet search, we will be subjected to global marketing, since everything seems to go global these days. Yeah, I'm not sure about this phrase in here. I think we could just, we could have finished it there. That doesn't really add anything to the task response. So I would just finish that there. Be mindful of what you write. Make sure it always relates to the task response or has some, feedback to answering that. While some defend that globalization of products is necessary and productive, others seem to believe that countries might lose their own identity on the process. The phrase here would be in the process, in. So on this essay, again here, something you might want to look at when you use on, in. Quite difficult for non-English native speakers. So here it would be in this essay, not on. So there's another mistake you've done with in and on there. In this essay, I will provide some points of view on both sides, and finally give my opinion on the subject. Defenders of worldwide scale marketing. Weird combination of words here. I mean, I'd probably just say defenders of worldwide marketing. Don't need scale there. Worldwide kind of covers the scale side of that. So defenders of worldwide marketing believe that the phenomenon opens doors, plural, opens doors to globalization and profound knowledge about all the options that the world can bring. An example, normally we'd say for example. So for example is the possibility of deciding what specific product to buy and not be limited to a national scope. Also, as a result of positive marketing, people seem to have a different and wide understanding. It's quite a low level of vocabulary there. You might think about using something different. Your vocabulary is generally pretty good, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. A more higher level of vocabulary to use there would be broad. People seem to have a different and broad understanding of different available products on the market. So when choosing, they can actually choose. Now here again, we're using choose and choose quite close together. Try to use some different vocabulary where you can, just up your lexical resource. Anywhere we can get extra points is great, because that will affect the overall writing score. So as a result of, so when when choosing, they can actually maybe make a decision, and no comment needed there, make a decision based on their priorities from where to purchase it. Oh, I see what you've done. So they can actually make a decision, comma, based on their priorities from where to purchase it. The advantages of this current seem to be undeniable. Advantages of this current. Not sure about that word there, current. It seems to make more sense just to say the advantage of this seem to be undeniable. Just take out that word current. It doesn't make sense there. On the other hand, good transitional phrase. Others defend that this phenomenon has more disadvantage than it looks like. Taking the same example, when deciding what product to buy, if people only have at their disposal, instead of on their disposal, at their disposal, a national offer, that would be better for the country's, apostrophe S, country's economy, so that's possessive, country's economy, and crucial to keep its authenticity. Difficult to deny the pretense of this argument as well. Good vocabulary there. What was I going to say there? Yeah, there's again another that word. In, on, at. Something you might want to focus on before your exam. You've got 3 instances now in this particular essay where you've used the wrong form of in, on, at. There are difficult ones. Have a Google at that. Obviously, we can find on both sides relevant points of views, plural, and pertinent concerns about the subject. Although I am keen to believe that international marketing contributes You don't need to capitalize international marketing, the I and the M there. It's only for proper nouns, which this one isn't. So I'm keen to believe that international marketing contributes to the development of all nations, and if used responsibly, can only bring upsides to everyone. Great, Claudia. Yeah, your writing shows massive potential. I do think what you need to focus on here is making sure you come up with ideas that are relevant to the task response, and then creating some really good academic examples to back up those ideas. It's something that, we have a podcast on in the Sentence Guide course that takes you through that, and kind of a in-depth exercise to promote, help you get used to quickly creating ideas and examples. I think, based on this essay, that would have been probably where you would have lost the most points, which was in the task response. So have a look at that. Also look at your ins, ons, ats, and try to refresh your memory on when to use those. That's my overall feedback. I hope you found that helpful. If your exam is indeed on the 16th, I wish you the best of luck. I don't feel there's much else I can do with you before then. But if your exam is next Saturday, sort of 21st, 22nd, 23rd of April, do have a consider looking at our course. I've provided you some details about it in the email link. I think through some more practice and feedback, very concentrated practice and feedback, we could get through that course over the next week and up your score to get where you need to be, to get at least a 7.0 on the test. And in fact, we guarantee that score for you. I would guarantee that score, meaning if you didn't get the 7.0, if you came on our course, completed the course by next Saturday, and then didn't get a 7.0, we would refund your money. So there's kind of nothing to lose there, but it kind of depends on when your test is. All right, Claudia, if you've got any questions, let Ben or I know. And that's all I've got for now. Bye.